Welcome to the Fast Modes Quick Chat series. Joining us today is James Garvert, Senior Vice President and General Manager of TransUnion's TruContact Communications and Contact Center Solutions. TransUnion is a global information and insights company headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. Over the last 5 decades, the company has enabled millions of consumers and organizations to transact with confidence. James is responsible for the suite of products that help enterprises enhance customer outreach so they can engage and connect with customers effectively, and that help streamline telecom connectivity. Great to have you on the show, James.
Yep. Good morning, and thank you very much, Tara, for having me.
Okay. So, first Orion, Transaction Network Services TNS, and TransUnion recently announced the availability of branded calling with logos across the top 3 US wireless carriers at MWC Las Vegas 2024. The partnership ensures branded calls with rich content are verified with end-to-end authentication, providing a secure method to help prevent call spoofing. Now, what role does TransUnion play in ensuring the security and authentication of branded calls in this partnership? Can you provide more details on the technology behind end-to-end authentication and verification?
Absolutely. So, TransUnion, in our partnership with First Orion and TNS, we collectively interface in front of the mobile operators of AT&T, Verizon Wireless, T-Mobile, and help enable in a federated fashion call authentication. So what that means is each one of us is able to connect with an enterprise, whether directly or through their originating carrier that provides their service, and enables the ability for each of their legitimate calls to be digitally signed and authenticated with each one of us. And then what we do is federate that information across each of us that then enables the full capability set across the 3 main mobile operators here in the US. So each one of us acts effectively as intermediaries that enable this end-to-end authentication that then allows, as these devices become more and more capable, to render enhanced information, such as logo, ultimately call reason, and other really beneficial information that the end consumer will enable more trust in that engagement between the enterprise and their respective consumer. So we're very excited about kind of the scale and the reach that we've been able to do and how we have collectively partnered to integrate this end-to-end call authentication.
Interesting. So how has the adoption of branded calling impacted businesses, especially those in the financial services sector, in terms of preventing fraud and improving customer trust?
Right. So we have seen just a vast array of use cases and the benefits associated with them. So there's the simple ones of better answer rates. Is the more trust you establish with the end consumer, the end user is going to answer that phone more because they trust it. In today's voice calling infrastructure, typically the end consumer, if there's no identifying information, if it's just a phone number, most people don't answer that call anymore because there's such a lack of trust. Now that we're able to publish more names and logos and additional trust indicators, we see those answer rates go up. So for instance, with the banks, we've seen it across a multitude of services with them, from their operations and engagement, the better answer rates, the better kind of engagement that they've had with their clients, even in something like the collections use case. The reminders, they're getting more promise to pays because the people trust that it is the bank on the other end of the phone and not some sort of scam that's out there. And the beauty of this end-to-end call authentication is that it enables you not to just do the promotion, but now you can also do the protection of an enterprise brand. So for instance, we have some very large banks that are utilizing TransUnion today with call authentication, and we know that every legitimate call that they're making. And by knowing deterministically their legitimate calls, we're able to block the spoofed calls. And these banks are seeing a significant reduction in fraud because we are able to block the bad actors from trying to mimic and pretend that they are the bank utilizing the bank's telephony phone numbers.
Oh, great. So with 15% of Fortune 500 companies using branded calling, what are the key factors driving the adoption among these enterprises?
Great question. So when you think about it, most consumers, their high value transactions, they want to be talking to an individual. It's not always stuff that I know we've moved to the digital age, but there's still a significant amount of high volume transactions and high value transactions that the end consumer wants to have somebody on the other end of the phone for them to complete that transaction. So what we're seeing is better adoption, better awareness in the Fortune 500 types of companies on the engagement. If they can establish trust in the voice channel, it adds for a much richer user experience, and they're able to transact more. It's really been great to see kind of the benefits and the impact that it's having across these large brands and enterprises. But also, the good thing is this service isn't just for the largest of enterprises. This scales down to the small, medium businesses. So the small doctor's offices, the small legal offices and dentist offices and such, when they want to engage and reach out and connect quickly with their customers, they're able to do so through this type of solution as well. So it's one that, even though it has great impact on the largest, there's real meaningful value throughout the size of the enterprises that are there.
And I was just wondering that, if you have this service in place, would it also increase, for those marketers and people who are promoting their goods and services or cross-selling and upselling, would it also be providing a boost for those kind of activities?
Absolutely. Any types of use cases there. And ironically, one of those use cases is survey companies. So survey companies are out there calling you, wanting to go, whether it's a political survey, a product survey, whatnot. We actually have seen lower answer rates on some of the survey companies, but the value prop is there because what they're doing is they're getting better and more engaged customers and clients when they reach out to them. So those clients and customers are now want those phone calls. So what that has led to is better yield. So they're getting better results in their surveys. And two, they're actually getting more employee satisfaction because the employees aren't being forced to constantly have people hanging up on them, being rude to them, saying no thanks. The people that want to actually talk to them are the ones answering the phone. So across that value cycle, it is improves in multiple areas, which is one of those, again, fun use cases associated with branded calling.
Brilliant. Yep, that really makes a lot of sense, and I think this is a service that basically every other business would like to have, to increase engagement and basically to make sure that, especially their marketing efforts are not wasted, on people hanging up. And also, yeah, like you rightly pointed out, it's going to increase the both customer experience as well as the employee experience. So I think this is something that most businesses, it might be a norm in the future that you have every other legitimate business with a branded calling infrastructure in place.
That that's right. And what we see this as an opportunity, it will really go viral. As more and more people start seeing the logos and other identifying information, they're going to ask their own employers, why aren't we making this? Why aren't we showing this when we make outbound calls? So as it becomes more exposed out there, and we are just scratching the surface of the market opportunity here for these enterprises to engage with us. And that's what this announcement's all about, is getting the message out there. We have great scale. It is something that works throughout the market now. Again, we should do close to 5 billion transactions in total this year, but that's still just a drop in the bucket in the total opportunity. But the good thing is this federated network scales nicely to accommodate any and all enterprises.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's really very good insights into the branded calling service and how it's going to transform the landscape of basically trust and engagement across big brands. So thank you, James, for joining us today and for sharing your insights on the role of branded calling in enhancing customer communication and security, and also how enterprises can strengthen trust and protect their customers from fraud. Okay, so any last words?
No, thank you very much for your time. Again, we are very excited to be at the forefront of revolutionizing voice calling. It's been a long time coming, and it takes a concerted effort across the mobile operators, companies such as ourselves, of First Orion, TNS, and TransUnion, and especially even the mobile device manufacturers like Apple and Samsung and others. So that's why it's taken a while, but we're on the precipice of doing something special. It's fun to be part of, and I really appreciate the time here today, Tara.
Okay, great. So for everyone tuning in, if you'd like to learn more, visit www.transunion.com and follow us for more updates and insights as we continue to uncover the latest in technology and telecommunications. See you guys in our next session. Bye.